Hi, I'm Doug. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we want to go over the wrap-up of our 2024 budget. Let you know what has happened to our costs over the last year versus the year prior. And the way we do our budget is going to exclude your normal household items. So the clothing, groceries, all of those sort of things, the amount you eat out, those are going to vary by individuals, what you like to do, how often you feel you need new garments, where you shop for them at, how often you eat out versus eat in. So we're going to talk about the traveling expenses. We're going to talk about the distance that we've traveled, the cost that it cost us to travel those distances, our campground expenses, including memberships, our internet, and our phone. So starting off, number one is our travel expenses. Now, 2023, we went from Florida all the way across the south into California, up into Washington State, across through Idaho, on down back into Oregon, California, Arizona, and wintered in the far southeastern corner of Texas. We put on 9,203 miles in 2023. Compare that to 2024. We went from South Texas all the way up into North Dakota, over into Montana, Wyoming, across into Colorado, over into Utah, and down into Arizona for the winter. So in 2024, we traveled 6,205 miles. We traveled about 3,000 miles less in 2024 than we did in 2023. The biggest reason was going from Florida all the way across the country to start our route versus starting in Texas and doing our route through Arizona. With that said, we also went from a diesel coach to a gas coach, and the fuel consumption in 2023, our diesel coach used 1,021.4 gallons. Our gas coach used 695.8 gallons. The cost of that was in 2023 $3,980, and that was also using our fuel discount card that we had for diesel versus just full price at the pump in 2024 of $2,293. And to put that more into perspective, our diesel coach, we were getting 9.1 miles to the gallon for the entire year. Our gas coach, we got 8.57 for the entire year. So fuel prices came down, both gas and diesel. Right now, we're in Arizona. We're paying $2.37 a gallon for gasoline. We were paying at least $1 a gallon, if not more than $1 a gallon, higher than that for diesel. So it gives you a little bit of a comparison. Fuel costs have come way down though this year. We've noticed that. Our campground expenses. A lot changed in our campground expenses because of the route that we took. As you all know, we are Thousand Trails members in addition to Coast, in addition to Passport America. And Thousand Trails does not have as many campgrounds in the middle part of the country. When we left Texas, the next place that we could use Thousand Trails was Blue Mesa in Colorado. And then from there, Cottonwood over by Sedona in Arizona. So we didn't have as much opportunity to use our Thousand Trails membership this year. Consequently, we had a lot more nights in paid campgrounds. Now, the paid campgrounds, if they offered a discount for a weekly rate, we normally would stay a week there and take that discount. So we did try to work the prices on the paid nights as good as what we could. But in 2023, we only stayed in paid for campgrounds 48 nights. Last year, 2024, was 114 nights. So you can see a big difference there. Those 48 nights in 2023 cost us $2,139 or $44.56 a night. The 114 nights that we stayed in 2024, instead of $2,100, cost us $6,213 or an average of $54.51 per night. So the per night cost on the paid campgrounds went up by about $10. And I think if you start looking at campground costs in 2023 versus 2024, $10 a night seems about how much things went up last year on campgrounds. I will say, for the amount of campground reservations that we made, we never had an instance where we couldn't get into the campground that we wanted. We made most of our reservations anywhere from 60 days to 120 days out. And even the ones in the 60-day range, which kind of were the ones in Utah around the Mighty 5 national parks, we were still able to get into with a phone call. So I know we keep hearing about the overcrowding in campgrounds. I don't know if we're just lucky with the ones that we pick or what the reason is, but we had absolutely no problem getting into the campgrounds where we wanted to stay. Next up was free nights. For us, that's normally Cracker Barrels. And that's when we're going a longer distance. We want to just pull in someplace, stay for the night, and continue our journey the next day. We had 3 free nights in 2023. We didn't do any of that in 2024. And again, it was just the way our route worked. It wasn't anything against doing the mooch docking, but we will probably do more of that again in the future if we're doing longer positioning routes. Passport America. In 2023, we used it for 7 nights. Now, we have a lifetime membership with Passport America, so there was no annual cost to us for that. Those 7 nights with Passport America cost us $177 or an average of $25.29 a night. Those were in 2023. 2024, we did not happen to use Passport America at all. So the places that we had to do paid for parks just didn't work out that we had a good option with Passport America as far as a place to stay. Coast to Coast, including our annual renewal and the $10 per night charge, and in some cases some of the parks do charge additional for 50 amp and that sort of thing. In 2023, we stayed 14 nights in Coast to Coast for a cost of $327.88, averaging $23.42 per night. In 2024, again, because we didn't have as much access to Thousand Trails, we went up to 40 nights. That was $538.60, and that put us in at $13.47 per night. So again, we used it more. We had more choices of parks that didn't charge anything additional other than the $10 a night. So it actually brought our cost down from $23 to $13, $10 a night cheaper. And now in the campgrounds is Thousand Trails. Thousand Trails in 2023, we stayed a total of 293 nights. Now again, we left Florida. We had availability all the way over through Texas. Once again, once we hit Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington, all of those states had Thousand Trails, and they were all conveniently located on our route. So we did 293 nights with Thousand Trails in 2023. Our expenses for Thousand Trails are annual dues, our Trails Collection Plus, and there are a few parks like Voyager in Tucson that were $20 per night. By the way, if you're happening to go to Tucson, Voyager is a beautiful park, and it's no longer a $20 per night extra to stay there. The keys there are still a few of them, but that part, they've taken that premium charge away. But all of the charges combined for Thousand Trails were $1,804.55 for 293 nights. It cost us $6.16 per night in Thousand Trails. Compare that to 2024, we stayed 213 nights. That's 80 nights less, almost 3 months that we were not able to stay in a Thousand Trails Park compared to the year before. And the cost was $1,288.97. And that broke down to $6.05 per night. So it actually cost us 11 cents per night less to stay in Thousand Trails in 2024 than it did in 2023. So when you put all of that camping expense together, 2023 we spent $4,448 in campground expense. That averaged $12.19 per night. Compare that to 2024, we spent $8,041. That averaged out to $22.03 per night. Now, $22 a night is not bad, and I'm not complaining about it. $12 a night was much better. So there again, do the campground memberships pay for themselves? Absolutely. We're right now staying in Arizona. That's all in the Encore parks where we're using our Trails Collection Plus. We're heading from here, going into California, into a couple thousand Trails parks. Then we're heading across the country following Route 66. So we'll end up with some more paid nights in that area. And from then on, we'll see where the road takes us. Two other things that I included in the budget this year were internet and phone service. Because if you're traveling, that's something that you depend on. And we made some changes. In 2023, we had a Verizon Wireless prepaid grandfathered, it's an old plan with unthrottled, unlimited internet, $65 a night. That's unfortunately a plan you can't buy any longer, and that's one reason we keep it, is it's such a great plan. We also had T-Mobile for $50 per night, or sorry, $50 per month as a backup. Especially in Wisconsin, we had no Verizon service. That's where we picked up T-Mobile originally, was while we were in Wisconsin. So that's $115 a month. Compare that to 2024. We kept the Verizon plan, $65 a month. The T-Mobile we didn't use often. Very seldom did we not have Verizon coverage. But the T-Mobile, we took down to a small plan that they have that's good enough to use for an emergency. It's still 5G, and it's $10 per month. So our internet expense went from $115 a night, or $115 a month, to $75 a month, saving $40 a month or $480 per year. And we still have the same coverage, Verizon and T-Mobile. We never bought into Starlink. We haven't felt a need to. I think we've had 2 spots that we've camped this year that we did not have cell service enough in the park to do what we needed to. So on the mornings that our videos were launching, I drove into a coffee shop, got a cup of coffee, did what I needed to from there, and headed back. Real easy. Many of those parks also have free Wi-Fi available in their common areas. So use that if you need to. But we never felt the need to go into the expense and the equipment and the setup that's involved with Starlink. Phone service. My wife and I both have cell service, but with different carriers. Reason being, just like what we talked about with internet, if we're in an area where there's not Verizon coverage, I had T-Mobile. If I am in an area where I don't have good T-Mobile coverage, I can flip onto the Wi-Fi calling, use the Verizon router in our motorhome, and she has Verizon service on her phone. So with that said, in 2023, she was paying $39.63 a month on Verizon, and I was paying $30 per month using Mint Mobile, which uses T-Mobile's towers. So that was a total of $69.63 per month. We made some changes again. Verizon's prepaid program is called Visible, and we used Visible. We switched her Verizon to Visible, and it went from $39.63 to $25 per month, unlimited. And I switched from Mint to a different plan with Mint and went from $30 a month to $15 a month. Now, I think I only went down to 5 gig of data with that, but when I'm in the motorhome, I use Wi-Fi and I use our Verizon Unlimited. So it's worked out perfect, and went from $69.63 a month to $40 a month for 2 cell phones, saving $356 a year. So that gives you a little recap as far as what our expenses were last year. Just to put it in dollars and cents, we spent almost $2,300 on fuel. We spent just over $8,000 on campgrounds. And then we had our internet and our cell phone, which both actually came down from the year before. When you're making your budget, you also don't want to forget that your normal day-to-day expenses, whether that's clothing, entertainment, grocery, if you have a car, maintenance on the car, if you have a truck, maintenance on your truck, fuel for your car or your truck, any new equipment that you have to purchase, all of those things are in addition. So hopefully that will give you a little bit of an idea. If you're not camping with campground memberships, you're probably going to be looking at that $50 to $55 per night. If you're camping with campground memberships, that brought us down to $22 a night. Definitely look at Thousand Trails. Definitely look at Coast to Coast. They are huge money savers. And again, we spent $1,288 with Thousand Trails last year for our annual dues and our Trails Collection Plus. And the camping costs us $6.05 a night. It's a great value. There's no doubt about it. With that, I hope it's helped you put your budget together a little bit. Use this as a comparison. The way you camp is going to make your expenses lower or higher than what ours are. And you can kind of see between 2023 and 2024 what a big change it made just by the route that we took. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've gotten some great information from it. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. At the end of the video, watch for the dot in this corner. If you tap that dot, you're subscribed to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. And you can ring the notification bell, and that way you'll know when every one of our videos come out. And until next time, thank you for following us as we follow the moon.